Russia has made $66 billion from fuel exports since it invaded Ukraine. And the EU is still its biggest buyer, study finds.
Here's a summary of the article.
Russia made $66 billion from fuel exports since it invaded Ukraine. Home chevron icon. It indicates an expandable section or menu, or sometimes previous. Next navigation options. News chevron icon. It indicates an expandable section or menu, or sometimes previous. Next navigation options. Commodities.
This post received a score of 8,100, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
This may be true, but since the start of the war almost all EU countries have announced serious and realistic plans to end their dependency on Russian oil and gas on a very short timescale. For instance, Poland is switching to Norway as a supplier, and the Netherlands has announced it will quit importing Russian gas before the end of the year.
Not to mention cancelling Nord Stream 2 in about a week's time.
NS2 was cancelled before the full-scale invasion even began. It was the same day that Russia recognized the breakaway regions as independent.
The very fact that it was being built in the first place is a travesty.
Perhaps the idea was it could help prevent a war. But yeah, obviously in hindsight making yourself even more dependent on Putin was not the smartest move.
However, the events actually indicate it was a non-factor in both directions. Putin torpedoed the entire thing mere weeks before it could have gone in operation, so apparently it was not considered much of a thing in strategic plans. So it neither stopped Russia from breaking with the West nor did its completion factor in their decision when to escalate their conflict with Ukraine. It seems the bigger factor were France and Germany being in government changes, the West humbled by the Afghanistan withdrawal and the US looking weak and the West disunited.
Looking at how everything has turned out is honestly satisfying. Putin failed in every single regard. Even his own puppets in the likes of Fox News cannot strictly support his actions and can only argue the US involving itself as risky for themselves. It's been great to see the backlash.
Well, certainly Europe could switch off both oil and gas from Russia, but that is going to cause major issues for both their population and industries. They have all said that they are going to stop using it within a reasonable time frame to give them chance to source other supplies. We call this common sense.
A large slump in the EU economy will take the world economy with it. Was it dumb to be so reliant on Russian gas? Sure. Is the knee-jerk reaction to instantly stop trade realistic? No. Our economies already suffered from the pandemic and the war now. 1. We need to be in a position to keep supplying Ukraine, and 2. If the average person starts really suffering here, that support will evaporate. I'd prefer cutting Russia off from everything the day they invaded, but it's not realistic and may hurt more than it does good.
Greater than was it dumb to be so reliant on Russian gas? But was it really? A lot of articles seem to ignore or forget that this was designed this way for a specific reason. Connecting Russia's economy to the rest of Europe made war unprofitable and economic suicide. And that theory gets proven daily with new news about the Russian economy. But clearly most strategists didn't suspect that Russia would end up shooting into both of its kneecaps just to punch Ukraine in the face.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.